Jackson Bed, will you marry me? The frantic question barely reaches me over the clamor in the airport. I've just stepped off the private jet and am being ushered through the halls of the arrivals lounge by security guards and airport personnel. Cameras lift as I pass by, no doubt snapping their 7-second celebrity moment to share with friends later. The commotion inside the airport cannot compare to the true frenzy outside. I'm let out a special exit in a bid to avoid the paparazzi, but they already know I'm here. How, I'll never fully understand. Sometimes I think my agent is tipping them off. They've shown up places that defy logic, like that one time I went to try horseback riding on a semi-drunken whim. After so many years as a media darling, I barely notice them. Another feminine shriek pierces the air as I glide through the crowd of people and into the back seat of a waiting car. This is the life of a rock star, baby. Private jets, paparazzi, pure, unadulterated sex symbolism. I catch someone lifting a copy of my most recent cover feature, America's Sexiest Bachelors, into the air just as I slip into the waiting sedan. I snagged the coveted #1 spot. Sure, it was a rush. Definitely a nice thing to tick off the old lifetime bucket list. But it's just obscuring a truth only I know. Mr. Bed, good afternoon. The driver turns to me with an eager grin. I'm Eric. Where will we be heading today? Hey, Eric. Nice to meet you. I relax into the plush leather seat, looking out the tinted windows at the curious onlookers and desperate fans. I just need to go to the car rental place if you don't mind. Are you sure? I'd be more than happy to take you wherever you need to go. Just a rental, that's all I need. Eric nods and turns toward the wheel. The car lurches forward a moment later and we're off, leaving the mass of humans behind us. I'm already imagining the questions the rental agency clerk might ask themselves when I show up. Why the hell is Jackson Bed renting his own car? Why doesn't his assistant do this for him? Doesn't he have a personal driver by now?
Jackson's confused and angry face confirms what I suspected to be true all along. Taking a gig with Jackson Bed's future brother-in-law had bad idea written all over it. "What are you doing here?" he finally sputters. All I can do is up the wattage on my everything is fine smile. I tried to warn Ethel that this might happen, but she seemed smitten by the idea that we had worked together on the West Coast, as though she'd never seen the cocky side of her youngest grandson, a side that all of LA and everyone in the music industry knows all too well. "I've been in town helping coordinate the launch parties for Bacon's new restaurant," I say, anxiety thrumming beneath my skin. Jackson looks less than pleased to see me, but I can't deny the small thrill being here gives me. There's something satisfying in seeing the humble beginnings of America's most famous rock star, not to mention sleeping in the room next to the one he grew up in. I feel like it gives me a leg up somehow, and I really need it based on how hard he's glaring at me. "His restaurant is already open, Colleen told me." A condescending smirk begins to emerge on his face. "So why are you still here?" I try not to focus too closely on his features. The man was recently voted America's Sexiest something, and I hate that I actually agree with the decision. But from this close, it's hard not to notice the amber flecks in his green eyes or the untended scruff on his jaw. Every time he moves, his leather jacket rustles with barely contained masculinity. If I could somehow forget about the hundreds of egotistical annoyances he's inflicted upon me over my career, I might actually fall in love with him based on his appearance alone. But thankfully, he's far too off-putting for that to happen.